quest for a postseason place, and the defending champions put on their Stanley Cup face. Next on Hockey Week. NHL Review. Last year, the Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup for the 24th time in their celebrated history. No team has tasted success more often. But the question now being asked in hockey circles is, can the Canadiens repeat? Last year, they were a dark horse. This year, the expectations are high and the competition is formidable.
There's probably 6 teams out there that have a great chance of winning it again. And, you know, we feel we're one of them. So we just want to go out and...
Own the Cup in '94. Now it's time for the Alka-Seltzer Plus Plus Minus Award update. When you got a cold and you got to get relief, you got to get Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Medicine. Scott Stevens is a strong candidate for the Norris Trophy as the NHL's best defenseman. Why? Because he's great at both ends.
Scott Stevens with an opening and a shot. It's there. They score!
Near the end of the season, Scott Stevens leads the way to the Alka-Seltzer Plus Award.
Nassau Coliseum has been a chamber of horrors for the visiting New York Rangers over the years. They've captured only 1 win in their last 16 visits. However, it seemed as if the Islanders' playoff hopes would take one on the chin. Then Vladimir Malakhov took over.
Again, it's gets right back up to the front of the net. Malakhov all alone. Malakhov scores!
2 goals by the Islanders defenseman propelled a 5-4 come-from-behind Long Island victory. The Islanders remained in the hunt for a playoff spot and possible first-round matchup with this Original Six team that is looking to reverse its playoff history. The team battling with the Islanders for that last Eastern Conference playoff spot is the John Van Beesbrook-led Florida Panthers. Against Quebec, Hart Trophy candidate Van Beesbrook had a rough night.
Finn avec une passe précise pour Ron Sutter. Sutter vers Lapointe. Lapointe un tir et but!
The visiting Nordiques stunned the Panthers 5-2. By finishing the season with 1 win in its last 9 games, Florida's once promising playoff hopes slipped away. Across the state in Tampa Bay, the Lightning's playoff hopes were out of sight. Not the case for the visiting Islanders, who could clinch the 8th and final conference spot with a tie or win.
On to Gary King, lead pass to Thomas, who steps over the line, looks for Turgeon, then shoots and scores! Steve Thomas! He's done it all season long. Lightning got it out. Bradley was checked. Here's Turgeon stepping over the line, feeding Thomas. He scores! Steve Thomas!
A 2-0 Islanders win and a postseason berth. The Panthers with some expansion growing pains. The Boston Bruins will be heading into the playoffs without 7th Player Award winner Cam Neely. Neely watched a rare Boston Garden win by the Hartford Whalers, despite a stunning goal by Mariusz Czerkowski. But Buffalo's 3-2 loss to Washington gave the Bruins the 4th conference seed. Here are the Eastern Conference quarterfinal matchups. Now the Western Conference race. Thursday, April 14th, marks Chicago Stadium's final regular season Blackhawk game. Next season, the United Center will be home. Special pregame ceremonies will be documented by Hockey Week on a future show. But for all the nostalgia on this glorious day, nothing evokes more passion and tears than the playing of a tape recording of recovering anthem soloist Wayne Messmer. The love of Chicago for Messmer was best illustrated by his wife, Kathleen. The Blackhawks were locked in as the conference's 6th seed, and a 6-4 win by the visiting Maple Leafs assured a Toronto-Chicago playoff encounter. A most appropriate Original Six matchup in a building almost as old as the league itself. Here are the Western Conference quarterfinal pairings. And that's your Hockey Week update.
Hockey was on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno recently. And in case you missed it, we thought you might like to play along with the studio audience in a bit called Take a Wild Guess. Jay Leno was going to be a goaltender. This is Lowering the Boom, courtesy of Jeff Bukaboom.
Matchuk taken out by Bukaboom.
Oh, baby. Oh, man. This was a banger.
Time memories. For every hockey player, the dream of winning a championship begins at a very early age. To reach the NHL, a player must know how to win. But more importantly, he must have some experience with the joy that winning can bring. The Stanley Cup is the ultimate, and with the playoffs just around the corner, we thought it would be fun to ask some of the guys a simple question. At what level did you win your very first championship?
My very first year of hockey, I mean, for me, it was a huge thrill. It was just like house league or something like that. And I mean, I was 4 or 5 years old. But at the end of the year, you went and you got a trophy, and you got at the banquet, and it was, I think I see it now, and I see some of
You buy Glidden, a better way to paint. Brendan Shanahan is the man in the middle, and his teammates are looking for him 5-on-3.
Housley, back to Hull, back to Housley, back to Hull. Don't be dizzy. Side of the net, Shanahan in front, and he scores from Channy and Housley.
Shanahan with the hat-trick goal and number 50 of the year.
That's teamwork. That's a better way. A model of persistence. That's Wendell Young of Tampa Bay. Playing in just his 9th game of the year, Young bottled up the Bruins.
Gruden kept it in. Post in front. Post puck high and dropped by Young. Unbelievable.
Young and the Lightning beat the Bruins 3-0. It was the Tampa Bay goaltender's first shutout in 4 years. When a referee signals for a penalty shot, it means a good scoring opportunity for the team that's awarded it. But that's not the case with Curtis Joseph.
Here we go. Donnelly against the goaltender Joseph. He shoots. Saved by Curtis Joseph.
Joseph's recent stop made him a perfect 4 for 4 in his career against the penalty shot. Dave Taylor of the Los Angeles Kings has announced that this season his 17th will be his last. A 15th round pick in 1975, Taylor found success playing on the Triple Crown line, the highest scoring line in Kings history. Taylor is Los Angeles' all-time leader in games played. That's a sound we hope to hear again soon. Wayne Messmer, who sings the national anthems at Chicago Stadium like no one else, was senselessly shot and wounded recently. We at Hockey Week join all of Chicago and hockey fans everywhere in wishing Wayne a speedy recovery. And finally, Frank Griffiths, the owner of the Vancouver Canucks, a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame and a man who brought a lot of joy to British Columbia, recently passed away. Griffiths bought the Canucks in 1974, saw them go to the Stanley Cup Finals in 1982, and helped build a top franchise. That red light means it's time for the top 5 goals, brought to you by Calcium-Rich Tums.
Leak over to Randy McKay. Finesses by. Right out in front. McKay. Oh! Randy McKay has tied the game.
He freezes the guy. He goes down. He waits. He pulls it behind. He keeps his eye on the puck. He waits for the goalie to go down. As the goalie's going down, he slips underneath him.
Miller ducking down the right wing. Miller moving in. Comes in front. Shot. Score!
Well, roll the recorder. What a beauty. Short-handed. Look at Kelly Miller. Malakoff has got to take him one-on-one. And then look at it. He just about loses control, but slides it under him.
Mike Craig in for Klatt. Return to Craig. Getting around Harlech and a goal scores! Felix Potvin gets caught. He's thinking poke check, but then sits back. By the time he changed his mind, Craig had it around him.
And the long pass break out here by Turgeon. Turgeon coming deep in front. The shot scores for the goal! Turgeon, a brilliant goal! Rocket Richard style.
Fraser battles his way up the boards. He's got Kamensky with him. 2-on-1 against Crowley. Kamensky takes the shot. Pass is tipped. Fraser shoots. He scores! A dazzling goal by Ian Fraser, backhanding it through his leg as he picked up the deflected pass, and Quebec leads 2-1.
Congratulations, Ian, and take a shot with us next time as Brute presents Hockey Week.